So we are in the next group of player types, and that's think. And you might wonder, what is think exactly? And what we mean with this is mostly mission gameplay. This is a big area, obviously. So let's start with the mission management interface. Here you can see the different types of missions. We have plot missions, which are the most important ones, the big epic stories of course. And we have subscription missions, which are also longer and can basically span a very long period of time and many different types of missions, but are always for one faction. So you join an effort and play a subscription mission for a particular faction for a longer period of time. For example, you join the war effort of one Paranid faction against the other, and then they supply you with all kinds of tasks, but you can still choose which tasks exactly you want to do. Sometimes, for example, you don't want to get a bad reputation with the other Paranid faction, so you only do war missions that are more indirect, like placing satellites and not directly destroying their military ships. But the biggest category of missions are all those below, the other missions. And other missions can be found in many places in the universe. Sometimes just by flying around and looking in this menu, you will see offers of people around you that are just looking for little jobs to be done. These can be simple things like transport something, or also military missions where you have to find a ship and kill it, or any kind of activity. With update 3.0 and also with the Split Vendetta expansion, we have added big new plots to the game. And with this comes not just normal missions, but actually long stories with interesting characters and unique places. That's of course a big difference from those normal other missions that you can play and which are much shorter and also of course faster to play. Another place where you can find mission offers is by talking to NPCs on stations. They too sometimes have something for you to do, and again you can just accept a mission, do it, and later come back to the same person. The majority of those other missions that we talked about so far are usually legal, and even though not always legal on the side of the receiver, because it's the faction that is offering you the mission is not necessarily the same as the mission as the place where you have to do it. So sometimes you have to be careful when you read the mission briefing if this is not potentially related to losing some reputation with somebody else. But there's also real illegal missions by people aboard a station that are, for example, smuggling drugs or want to do any other kind of criminal activity. But those missions are not openly offered. To find them, you will again have to search for leaks, for data leaks. In this case, we call them signals on stations. So by flying close to a station, you can sometimes see them and you can also hear them. And if you scan them, you open a communication with a person inside the station that has something secret to tell you. These type of missions are also your best way to find a contact with a black marketeer, the guys that can help you sell drugs on a station. They oftentimes have very rewarding and very special missions to play for them. The story of the game is not just told through a single plot. Actually, the story of this entire universe is very diverse and spread out all over the place. And matching to that, you can also find what we call data vaults in many places of the universe. I'm talking a little bit more about that in the exploration section, but this is also a way to find out a lot about the history of the X universe, what happened in the past, and all of those interesting stories that the earlier X games were telling, and also the books by Helge Kautz, which are also playing in this big universe. So there are interesting cutscenes that can tell you a lot more about the background of that story. This video is part of a series explaining the features of X4 Foundations. There are parts about trade, fight, build, think, explore and strategy gameplay. Choose the next one you are interested in from the Egosoft YouTube channel or the playlist to watch them all in one session.
Community of planets. Such was their dominance over other races in business and economic fields that the Teladi quickly became the primary financial power within the community, even introducing the credit as a community-wide currency to great success.